Alright guys, so I've ordered some PCA 105 8 4-inch full range drivers. So this is the 4-inch version of what I use already in my Vuelix and Namco cabs. So I really like these. They're really bang for your buck. I think these were only about under 20 bucks each. So the price tends to go up a lot more as they get bigger, but it's a full range speaker. Doesn't have the same type of full range as a 3-inch for whatever reason, but you'll get really good mids out of this for sure. Some lows and a little bit of highs, but you know, you'll get a little bit of everything. Now this is the speaker that came out of the Net City. It's a Chinese speaker here, shielded, pretty small. It gets the job done. But now honestly, the Astro City 2 has a Japanese speaker, 4 ohm, and it's pretty beefy. Honestly, they actually went with a pretty good design. But because I'm going to upgrade the sound, I do not want to use a 4 ohm speaker. I'm going to use this 8 ohm speaker with my own amp that I always like to use, and so that'll give me a better sound, I think, overall. Plus, this is starting to really fall apart. So with time, this foam is just gonna, it's already starting to deteriorate. You can see there. So it's better just to replace this now, even though I really like it. But this will last me a lot longer, and it'll be better overall. Have a beefy here magnet here, so you know this is really gonna drive. I think this is set for 40 watts RMS, so this is gonna give you a lot of sound. And it's a direct drop-in replacement, so you can see here, drops in, no issues. Drops in on the Net City and the Astro City 2s, so it's a quick and easy install. You don't even have to change anything on the box here. You just connect those 2 connectors and you're done. So it's a really awesome setup. All right, so I've done a little bit more digging, and they're actually not the same boxes. This is a Yamaha. So it's a Yamaha YST1, and here it says even Yamaha on it. Now this particular speaker, from what I read online, is for, and it's like woven, similar to what I just put in. These are for a Q sound. So these are in other candy cabs, I believe, that have the Q sound for the Capcom cabinets. So this is a Q sound speaker. So that's pretty interesting. Now this speaker is the original speaker that was to the Astro City 2. I found a forum, and they were all marked with this. None of these markings can go back to anything. There's some discussion maybe being possibly related to Bose or anything like that. This box is a generic box, honestly, that can be swapped out with different boxes if you can find online. But I've already swapped in the nicer speaker inside. These are 40 watts RMS. Are these 40 watts RMS? It says 40 watts max. I don't know if that means RMS. So maybe they might be 40 watts RMS, but they're running at 4 ohms. And I'll be running these at 8 ohms on my 8 ohm amp. So I think I'll get a much better sound quality out of these, as I've tested with all of my other cabinets. So that'll be really cool to see, because my amp can run up to 50 watts RMS on each channel, no problem. And so that is more than enough to run these. So that'll be interesting. Just want to kind of cover that. I found out that they're not the same boxes, but they'll work. They fit. They have the same mountain brackets and everything. All right, so I decided to piggyback on the original design, so I just spliced it in there. You guys can see, easy drop-in replacement, and I'm going to connect it here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into these wires, so when I want to put into my own amp, honestly, I could really test them out with the original amp, and I think it'll be just fine as well. It should handle it, no problem. But it's an exact drop-in replacement. Fits exactly, and much better than that. And then here the wires come. Here is the amp right here. And I believe these are the wires for the sound for each channel, if it serves me correct. One's for each channel right there. So I can just tap in here if I want to run in my own amp pretty easily, instead of having to route wiring everywhere. And there you go. You guys can see the now MS2931 there. in pretty good shape, honestly, given the age. And the coin count's very low on this thing, but here it is naked. All right, there you go. Easy install, easy to do. They're color coded as well. So one's white, one's red. The blacks are grounds, and so on. And so you can see white and red. So I can just splice in here to run my wires to my another amp. And I can just turn off this amp for now, not use it, preserve it, whatever I want to do with that. I'm not sure what, this is the volume control here. And this is the power, because these are much thicker wires. So this is the power that's coming in. Not sure why there's so many wires for it, but regardless, I would think that's power, unless this is power, but you never know. But pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'm just going to not use this amp for now, use my nicer amp. You get less buzz. Honestly, all the amps that I use, compared to the original amps, I've always run into issues on all the cabs as far as them generating a small ground, hum. And then as soon as I run them on my own particular setup, separate from the cabinet, when I run my own amps, all that stuff goes away. And I end up having zero ground issues with that hum and all that, even though they have ground isolations and they have all this stuff there to make the ground not be so prevalent in the sound, but they never really go away 100%, as opposed to when I use these newer amps. I don't know if there's better circuitry in them, or maybe there's something to reduce that, but they work so much better, and my the ground hum is completely gone. So that's my 2 cents on it. I get it. There's a lot of guys that want this to be original and want to use it original, and to me, honestly, if I can get better, use better. I mean, it's original, it's great, but these caps are old. They probably need to get replaced down the road. And, I'd rather just put another amp that I know is going to give me a lot of life out of it and give me really good sound quality as well, with Bluetooth capabilities and, more features. And more control over my sound too, because this only controls the sound. You can't control your mids, your lows, your highs. You can't add a sub to this. And the amp that I'm including will have all that. So I don't really see a downside other than, it's not original anymore, but who cares? All right, I've ran the upgrades now. So it's running on a PC, running on that little amp that I always love to use. Here's the amps. I splice into the power supply there. So we are good to go. We're not using any of the power supply for this for the Naomi, and we're not using the power supply for the amp right now. So that's just disconnected, so we don't need to waste power there. But pretty easy and straightforward process to wire this up and get this up and running. And now I got it running on my setup here with the Pico fighting boards. We're set up, we're good to go. We're running Botocero 37, and we can play any games that we want. Just how loud it gets, I have it at 60% and it's already loud enough. The amp is at 50%, so if I raise the amp 100% and this 100%, I'll blow out the speakers. It'll be a big mess. There's no issues with discoloration of the monitor, so that's another good thing. Now I've put it all back together, and the monitor itself is not showing any symptoms of the maggots from the big speakers, so you don't have to worry about that. You can see they're in there, nice loud speakers, and the quality is just really good, honestly. So we can just load up different games here. Let's go ahead, and I've got a lot of different versions of Street Fighter, but yeah, let's go in the game. Still got to put more stuff on this Botocero. I haven't had time really to put the images of the artwork and anything like that to give it that extra good look on it. But I mean, it turned out really, really well. So I'm going to do the same thing to that. The bass is a lot better. You probably can't pick it up on the amplifier. I mean, on the video. but in person you can hear that the bass is much more responsive on those 4-inch woofers. So let's go ahead and finish up this speakers on this one. Monitor is almost ready. They've already figured out what's wrong with it, so I should get it soon. So, just waiting on the monitor now, but I've got everything wired in. I've got the amp right there, and I even put a sub in here. So it has a sub, and it has Bluetooth built into it. Right now I just have it there just to test. It bumps really pretty dang good. And then I just have to wait for it to get the monitor so that I can go into test menu and have it shoot stereo instead of throughout the JAMA, because throughout JAMA it's always mono. But I can shoot out, once I get to test menu and make it throw out the stereo signal, it'll go out through the RCAs and it'll come in here, and that'll really have a really loud sound. I just tested it and it just bumps like crazy. But look at that. What is up, guys? So, got it back. Drove an hour away to pick it up. The guy that I sent it to, he couldn't get the original chassis up and running again. There was an issue with the X-ray protection on the board, and he's gonna have to spend more time on it. So what he decided to do was give me another chassis that he had that was good, and he went ahead and did a cap kit on it. So I've got another chassis that's in really good shape. And you can see that all the caps have been replaced there. They're all brand new, both on the high voltage side, low voltage. And turned it on while I was there. I'm gonna have to do some adjusting to the monitor, you know, for my game. But other than that, this thing is working again. So I'm so happy to have it working again. That way I can finally be able to enjoy the cabinet. So now I can organize the wiring and drop it in. So let's get this done. Well, we got it working. Working on the, looks pretty good. I just gotta dial in the colors, but we're set to go. So there is my RGB Pi. Looks in really, really good shape. Now, you can see burn in here a little bit, but when you're playing games, you can't really tell. Now, I just threw in some quick test games to test. I still can't play them because I don't have enough buttons for it to work properly. But if you hit start, you get options for like display. You can adjust it, so you can change it different kinds of, even this famous Blast City. You can change it to that. Naomi. There's different. I went with arcade. You can rotate it if you want, and that way, if you want to run the RGB Pi for like a lot of vertical games, you can do that. So that's pretty cool. Native C-Sync, 460 Hertz. Flying logo, you can have that turned on after however many minutes you want. Slideshow, whatever you want. So then you can just hit start. You can control the sound here. Right now it sits at 80 for volume, but you can raise it much higher. Music volume, FX, you can change it to audio jack. So if you want to run the original, you know, JAMA audio, you can just turn off the audio jack and it'll run the audio through the JAMA. So that's pretty cool. But I'm running it through the audio jack because I'm running an external stereo system here. You can do equalizer as well, so there's a lot of cool little things you can do. What's really cool though is if you go to the system, you can actually do themes that they have. So here's RetroArch for MS9, which is already turned on because I have an MS9. Now the overclock, I already did it in the text file. So I'm running at 2000 megahertz or 2.0 gigahertz, whatever. But you can, I think with the big heatsink that I got, I can go up to like 2.2, 2.4, and I'll be able to run like Naomi games pretty well with zero stutter. So let me show you the themes here, which are pretty cool. Let me hit there. So if you hit it here, see, it's very, very cool. You can change it. Doom. Very, very cool. Ghosts and Goblins. Very cool. Mario. That's where I'm at. Megatech is, I think, the original that it comes with. This is the original that it comes in, like this. Which is pretty cool. Tokyo Nights is pretty cool, and Sonic as well. So that's really, really cool. Tokyo Nights, I like that a lot too. Very cool. Alright guys, I'm officially done with this Astro City 2. And I think it came out amazing. So, I've got the marquee set up there. I've dialed in the monitor even more. So it looks really, really clean now. That's a really amazing picture. In person, I think you can see it, the colors just pop really, really good. And this at 240p just looks so much better even than that. Now, 480p games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 look really good on this. So that's the cool thing about having this for playing like those type of games, you know, Capcom vs. SNK 2 and all that. That looks really good on that. But for 240p, this is amazing. These are the now MS9s, just look really good. Took a little bit of dialing it in because there was a bunch of color issues and convergence and controlling it, but it's now 100% as far as what I need to. Cleaned up the control panel, cleaned up everything, and you can just see that it looks really, really good. I'm really happy with it. I can't really complain anymore. I've got a subwoofer. I got the 2.1 sound system, so it's 200 watts. It can get very loud. Right now I got it dialed. I got it toned down a bit just so I can do the video, but it can get very, very loud. And then I got my Alpha 3 board here. I got Rival Schools board as well. But the thing about Rival Schools, it doesn't have RCAs for the stereo out, and it has to go jam and mono. Luckily, this thing is easy to go. You know, you just hook it up to a headphone and you can get stereo. It's really, really nice, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll have another cabinet coming soon as well that I'd love to show off. So these candy cabs are slowly coming in, and I'm filling up my retros. So I'm really happy with adding this to the collection. It cleaned up super nice. And again, hope you guys enjoy the video and have a good one.